We're going to do the hearing.
Hearing first.
Okay, thank you, Rob. Welcome, everyone. We have well over quorum and we can proceed with our public hearing. I don't know if we have members of the public. I know we received 2 emails in support of various parts of our budget. I don't know if anyone, excuse me, sir, are you here to speak at public hearing or are you just observing? Oh, okay, fine. Thank you. I don't know that we have anyone queued up online, so I will just mention the communications. We received 1 communication in support of the ultimate reentry opportunity OTR request for the Sunflower House assessment, and we also received 1 email in support of the EMS coordinator. And that is about it for the input that we've received on this budget. We can hold the hearing open for a few more minutes in case people show up a little late. Rich?
If the emails aren't too long, do you want to read them?
Well, let's see. One of them is extremely crisp. It simply says, support for URO OTR request for Sunflower Houses assessment. And then it says, we'll speak in person at public comment. So maybe they plan to come. The other one is from Robert Lynch. Legislators, I will be unable to attend in person tonight's public hearing on the 2023 Tompkins County tentative budget. Nonetheless, I wish to extend my written support for this budget and most particularly for its inclusion of $110,699 for establishment of the position of EMS coordinator, alternatively titled EMS program manager within the Department of Emergency Response. I believe inclusion of this position will save lives. Legislators discussed and recommended funding for this position during their meeting as an expanded budget committee on October 13th. As discussed then and supported overwhelmingly at the meeting, the AMS coordinator / program manager would, during 2023, lay the administrative and logistical groundwork for a fly car emergency response system to supplement local commercial and municipal ambulance services. This new supplemental service is greatly needed here in Enfield and in Tompkins County's other rural communities. The proposed service has the support of members of the Enfield Town Board and of the Enfield Volunteer Fire Company's leadership. Inclusion of the referenced over target request within the 2023 budget will help make this service happen. Please authorize it within the budget you will later adopt. Respectfully submitted, Robert Lynch. So that's all we have for now. But wait, someone appears. Good evening. Are you here to speak at public hearing? Well, welcome. You're the only one that's showed up so far. So take your coat off and you can come and introduce yourself and speak to the budget, if you will.
All right. I wasn't expecting to walk in and say this. I'm Dr. Paula.
Full service legislature.
Thank you. I'm Dr. Paula Ioannidis. I am the CEO and founder of Rise to Equity Excellence, which is a consultancy that focuses on equity-related research. And I'm here to advocate that you approve or reapprove, rather, a second-year over-target request for Ultimate Reentry Opportunity, which is a nonprofit that partnered with OER and INHS to establish the Sunflower Houses project, which is for people in reentry coming home from jails and prisons. It's a safe and affordable housing complex managed by OER. URO is doing a research assessment of its effectiveness, and the OTR request before you from URO is essentially for that portion of the funding to ensure that not only are we setting up this program, but we're assessing its effectiveness. The last thing I'll say is that, to my knowledge, we are the only entity currently measuring Tompkins County recidivism rates. in part because we need to understand the program's effectiveness on the overall county's recidivism rates. So we had to first figure out, well, what are the county's recidivism rates? We did that. It's sort of like a public service to the county that takes a lot of data work. I'm just here to essentially advocate that you renew that OTR request for URO. I'll also lastly say that this is an incredible collaboration between OER, INHS, and URO. It's a kind of unprecedented partnership that has served already over 25 people. And I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but given our population in the jail and our recidivism rates, that's actually quite a large number. And it's a program that's specifically targeted towards helping people who are court involved and on parole. Over 3 years, what we hope to show is the actual impact on recidivism rates, as well as things like, have they been, able to find permanent housing? Were they able to establish living wage employment? Were they able to secure healthcare services? And were they able to access transportation, as well as meet their own personal goals? So we'll produce a pretty robust report if you fund us. And if you don't, then basically we'll have set up a great program, but we won't know its effectiveness. Long term, we hope to publish on this case so that other rural kind of hybrid counties like our own can not only understand how to set up this type of program, but how to assess its effectiveness over time. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for coming. Is there anyone else here to make a public comment? Okay. All right. Well, the public hearing will continue to be open, but there's another matter that I think we all want to address. 5 years ago today, Henry Grandison won election to the Tompkins County Legislature, along with Shauna, Amanda, Annie, and myself. From the beginning, the five of us were determined to work towards being friends as well as colleagues. We got together regularly, sometimes with department heads and sometimes just the five of us. And we were pretty excited and very full of ourselves, and we were probably pretty obnoxious. We even christened ourselves the Fab Five. And yes, we were obnoxious. Today, we're just the Forlorn Four, I guess, because Henry's passing is a painful loss for us, just as it is for all of the county legislators and staff who worked with him over the past 5 years. Henry's valuable commitment to integrity, trust, and diversity will be sorely missed. His legacy to Tompkins County will live on year after year as we celebrate our Juneteenth holiday. The pain of our loss is small when compared to that of Mary Beth and her family and what they're surely experiencing. Henry was a loving and much loved husband and father. And in the end, that's the legacy that truly matters. We all send our deepest sympathies to his family. And we hope that their many, many fond memories of Henry will see them through this painful time. If anyone would like to share some thoughts and remembrances of Henry, this is probably a good time to do so. So thank you. Anyone? Amanda?
Thanks, Deborah, for writing out something thoughtful and saying that. Henry was very, very kind, and I'm not sure I ever heard him insult anyone, unlike some of us. I just two thoughts. He will definitely be missed. He questioned all of us all the time. He challenged us on the status quo. He challenged us on what we were asking and what we were doing and what legislation we wanted to pass. And he was really good about calling us out, and we need that. During COVID, we had lots of questions at the beginning, and how's the website going to work, and what is the health department doing, and what are the numbers constantly, and it all kept changing, and from the beginning, Henry kept track of the numbers and he pushed our staff to report as much as possible about everything that they could. And he wrote an email to his constituents every single day, and he posted it on the listserv and listed the numbers and how is it going this week, and here's this information. And I'm on that listserv too. And I was just always like, I can't believe he's still doing this. But he was so committed to his constituents and they appreciated it so much. They're constantly thanking him and really appreciative of how much he reached out. And we did a lot together over the years, and I will miss him.
Thanks, Amanda. Anyone else? Mike Lane.
I was pleased to meet Henry and work with him when he came on the legislature. I didn't know him before that. I read his obituary this morning and learned a lot about Henry that I didn't know. And frankly, I was in awe reading all the things that he has done, all the people he has helped, and how he's been an example for all of us. As an attorney, I know how hard he worked to get through law school, because I had to do that too. And then he went on from there to be in administration at a law school, to work with admissions and helping folks get into law school who might not otherwise had the chance. What a great thing to do. Since I've known him, Henry's been an adjunct professor at our Tompkins Cortland Community College. And that says a lot about him. Learning how to do the paralegal courses virtually and online, helping people become paralegals from the young people that want to take that to older people, legal secretaries and other people who wanted to learn more about the law. I think that's a great thing for someone to do, to be an educator and help people learn. I'm very, very sorry that we've lost Henry. Since I've been on the legislature, I can't think of anyone that we've lost who was seated at the time. And it leaves a big hole for all of us. Henry Grandison, you'll be remembered.
Thank you, Mike. Anyone else? Annie?
I have spoken before, so I appreciate you giving us the opportunity to do it again. And I just wanted to share one memory. Although before I get to that, I want to say, when you're talking about our self-appointed Fab Five, we were really excited running for office, and it was really great to have each other and to bounce things off, to check each other. And as kind of you inferred, that we agreed that we could, we had this trust and deep relationship that we agreed that we could check each other and call each other out and make sure that as we went through office, we didn't get swayed from our core beliefs. And so I remember one particular memory was sitting around the table, and this is a picture I posted on Facebook, sitting around the table at Deborah's house, all of us, and talking about what was really important to us so that we would remember that. And for Henry, it was really easy some of us were like trying to think of what was important to us, but Henry knew. And his was inclusion, trust, and integrity. And he didn't waver in that in his whole time. And I didn't realize, because he didn't speak a lot about bragging about what he had done, but this is just what he had done, you know, talking with different people and reading more about him online and people reaching out to me. This is just what he has always done. And this was just him. And I'm really glad we got just a little slice of his life to spend with him and to be schooled, to learn from him and to work together, because working together with him, you know, is not something to be taken for granted. A lot of times, you know, we think about, you know, getting something done, but you don't, and maybe people don't see this behind the scenes, is that working together and figuring out how we can reach goals that are important for the community, for those people that aren't represented here. And again, he has done this all his life. And so I'm really glad that he was able to spend some of his time doing that. And I will miss him. And I'm glad that in his last few months, he got to spend a lot of time with his family, because that was so important to him, his family and his dogs and the Mets. So thank you. We'll miss you, Henry.
Anyone else? If Shauna were here, the other member of our obnoxious group, I'm sure that she would chime in with her memories of Henry, but unfortunately, Shauna couldn't join us tonight because her grandfather passed earlier today. So it's not been a good day. If there's nothing else, Mike?
Is our meeting open? I'd like to make a motion.
I don't know if this constitutes a regular meeting or just a public hearing. It's a meeting. So go for it, Mike.
I received an email from President Kremenek at TC3 indicating that the college was going to be lowering its flag to half staff in memory of Henry Grandison. And I would like to move that we do the same thing for the county flags.
I would second that, if I may. Is that a unanimous second? I would imagine that it is, yes. Please record that as a unanimous second, and that will happen. Okay, if there's nothing else, we're adjourned. If you haven't yet signed the card that's been circulating, please do so. And I will see you all next Tuesday.